Hey folks, it's your friendly neighborhood Doc here, and I wanted to talk to you about J.G. Jones and Phil Bramm's new book, Dust to Dust. It talks about the Dust Bowl time in the Midwest of America. So that's set right in 1935. Men were having trouble finding jobs, they were having trouble providing for their families. So it's kind of a dark book, but at the same time, it's a realistic look at the trials and tribulations that people were going through at that time. So let's go ahead and dig in. All right, so you have this awesome cover by J.G. Jones, which we hadn't seen anything from him in a while. But the artwork, it's got that almost that Alex Ross painted feel to it. It's not exactly... One thing that I can say about this book is it's very bright. It's very bright. Now, I know I'm reading it under some really strong lights here, but you can kind of lose some of the details in the brightness of the artwork. My camera here is picking up pretty good details there. Some a little bit darker than even I can see with my eyes. So that helps out a little bit. But overall, when you get to a scene like this, it almost looks like a pencil drawing. It looks like he started it, but he never finished it. So something maybe out of a Bern Hogarth book. But anyway, you start out and you've got Russell here, who is burning centipedes, and his mama and daddy told him to come back to the house because they're about to pull up stakes and leave because they're in the middle of a drought. And he can't afford to farm. His father can't afford to farm because there's just no water to farm the crops and things like that. And Hilliard, who is the man who he's, sharecropping for, subleasing, however you want to say it, he's looking for that water supply. And the sheriff actually says he's counting on that water being down there. And the father says that he's not going to find it. He's not going to find it. And so as they're leaving, the sheriff goes to give Russell a comic book. It looks kind of like a John Carter of Mars type book. And his mom says, no, he can't have it. He needs to be reading the Bible. That's what we're going to teach that boy. And so Russell starts to cry after his mom leaves, but the sheriff goes and shoves it into his pocket and says, now don't you tell your mom I gave you this. So we are in Cimarron County in Oklahoma, 1935, and we're in the town of New Hope. And it's just saying, jobless men, move on. We can't even take care of the ones that we have here now. So this is a slice of life book that talks about how things were during the very beginning of the FDR administration. We had just come, we were still coming out of the Great Depression. We weren't done with the Great Depression yet, but it's unimaginable how difficult life would have been for these people in that time frame, because if you're trying to be a sharecropper, if you're trying to be a farmer, and you just don't have any water, you don't have anything to provide sustenance for those crops, then how are you going to possibly feed yourself, feed your family, feed new babies, feed even the dogs and the cats that come up? How are you going to feed all of these people without being able to bring home the bacon, literally? So between the artwork and the storyline, that was a really, really great book. It's from Giant Generator, so it's one of the Rick Remender books. He's the one that oversees the Giant Generator books. So I believe issue 2 comes out this coming up week. So I can't wait to check that out and see what more happens with this family as they are trying to run from the Dust Bowl, and instead they might get sucked into more trials and tribulations as a storm approaches at the very end of the issue. But top-notch art, top-notch story, a little bit bright on the coloring. It's almost like it's midday all the time. But other than that, I've got no complaints about this book. And hey, it's just now starting. So if you hadn't checked out issue 1 yet, you'll see if your shop has issue 1. And I will definitely be back for a review on issue 2 when it comes up. Thanks for joining me, folks, and have a great evening, and we'll catch you in the next video.